I just finished editing the rebuild of the Triumph rear axle, and what you see is probably a little over 30 minutes long, and that was chopped down from probably about 5 hours, which would be like watching a fishing show unedited or watching any baseball game. A couple seconds of action and the rest of it is give or take monotony. But we did get the axle put back together, so hope you enjoy. I'm sure Samuel will tell me Sunday at church that the editing's horrible. So I'm going to tell you right now, the editing's horrible. It's very choppy, but I'm still using the free version of this software. So if I were to pony up and pay the subscription, I probably have better editing features and maybe even some fast forward. That's what I really could have used on some of this stuff. So thanks for watching. On the other side, but I'm going to show you how to do this one. And we're also going to put in a new pinion oil seal. Oops. So one of the things I had to make, this went in all the way across and plugged the axle holes with just for sandblasting purposes. And what works out nicely is that my little plugs are going to be my drivers for the seals. So thing is, it's back in there far enough. I need to stack both of these to make it happen. So let's do it like this. Yeah, just like that. He's going to be very nice. And they roll. Yay. Let me grease this up. Once I get it all started, kind of square, there we go. Put this in. Just like that. Our nice Harbor Freight dead blow hammer, not a sponsor. Thanks to Eric O at South Main Auto for getting me turned on to that term. Kind of works out well that I'm doing this slow because I'm also doing it left-handed. Makes it a little bit tougher. There we go. That looks nice. Yeah, see, I had to bevel these edges so they would seal up in there when I send it off to the powder coater. Now for the pinion seal, first thing has to happen is the bearing has to go in. We're going to grease that. Just because I don't know how long this will sit before I service up the rear end with fluid. But I know it's going to roll around. So I don't know why why they don't chamfer these edges on any of these housings. There we go. Beautiful. Grease the lip. It doesn't burn up before we get oil in it. And we're rotating the car around, pushing it around. Okie dokie pokey. Okay, drop in. We got 2 shims on here that I want to stay there, so we're going to grease those. So they'll stick in place as we drop this in. Bam. Look at that. Okay. Forgot about that. Big old glob of grease on this. There we go. Two shims. Still nice and greasy. Bam. Now look at that. Money. Okie doke. So there was a big chunk of just messing around with this yoke that wasn't really necessary. And in fact, it's gonna shut off the video here in a minute. I had to file down and kind of round off the very starting edges of the spline on the yoke. They were slightly mushroomed, and was what was part of the problem with the yoke going on. Okay. Had to do a little adjustments on the ends of these splines. But now, E goes together nicely. So, try this again. Re-grease, because I've wiped off most of my grease off my bearing now. Maybe that's why it's all banged up. Now we just gun this dude on. Alright, so now we'll take it back off. So we put our washer in there. But we're almost seated. smooth. Okie doke. Now, I'll get this hose out of the way. Oh, it's going to be perfect in the way. Okay. Sorry, this is probably not the best vantage point, but it's the best I can do with what I have. So, now that we got all that put in, now we put in our differential. Yeah, baby. This is gonna be a hassle because it's such a tight fit. If anything gets wonky, doesn't want to go in the housing. They show a housing spreader in the book for doing this, but since I don't do differentials a lot, actually this is my first, I don't have any of those special sexy tools. Looky there, still turns. We are the big winner. Ta-da! Look at that. Huh. Christmas miracle. Okay. We do our saddles now. The housing is marked with numbers. And these saddles are also marked with numbers. Well, let's clean these threads. Kind of gross. Oh, I'm glad to get this table back. Get all this crap off the top. Too much stuff. I used to have a garage mahal to do all this scientific stuff. Although it probably wouldn't have been much neater in that garage either. If we're being honest. See, I didn't have to do any of the science or math stuff with this rear end because it's just going back together. Nothing's changed. Not even the bearings. If something had changed, then I'd have to do a real differential setup, figure out shims and all that mess. And I would love to know how to do that, honestly. Watch Hot Rod Garage and Roadkill and all that stuff. Those guys just throw these things together. Ooh. I mean, they do a whole rear end, or actually multiple things in an hour. It's like reno in a house. It's Fixer Upper, folks, down there in Waco. Transform your house in an hour. That's a lie. So, what is going on here? Should have done this to both sides, and I should have done it right after I got it back from the powder coater. But life happens and things happen, and you forget. So you get to this point. This one doesn't look as bad as the other one. So all right, let's see how we do now. Oh, let's hose it out. Oh yeah. Kinds of poopiness in there. You know what? I'm gonna get this safety solvent. I don't know what's in this stuff. Tetrachloroethylene. I don't know, but whatever it is, it seems oily. It doesn't seem to dry up, evaporate like good old brake cleaner. So we'll give this the final spritz. And I know this stuff seems to squirt harder. Get all that oil out of there. There we go. Yeah. Great for your skin too. All right, try it again. I don't know if I need to, you know what? I should just go ahead and do these two holes too. While I'm here. Okay. And we're good to go. It still turns. Yay. You know what I didn't do? I did not grease those bearings. Should have done that. Let's see. Well, I guess the next step would be put these axles in. We will grease these in wheel bearings. Because this there we go. Sweet. go. Boom, boom, boom. Right in there like swimwear. Okay. I have to apologize. I didn't realize, I forgot about the whole standing the phone up thing. Makes the picture small when it ends up on YouTube. So I apologize for that. So I don't know how well this is all going to turn out. But I'm not taking it apart to do it again for a photo op. So, as they say, it is what it is. So there's 3 shims behind this backing plate on the axle, but I'm taking them all out because how thick this powder coating is on the backing plate, I think is going to negate the necessity for them. So we'll get this one on, you can see, and then I'll do the other one off camera because it's going to be the same thing, only opposite. Oh, too far. There we go. You know what? We're going to put a little bit of good old anti-seize on these bolts. Just because we can. Pretty big cavity to fill with grease. Feels like it's going in. I don't see any yet. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that oozing out between the rollers. Beautiful. He's very nice. Sweetness. Okay. Sliced my thumb. You can see that on, I don't know, something, one of these sharp edges. The 50s, they truly did live the motto, safety third. So, all kinds of sharp edges, eye poker outers, and all that other mess on these. Okay, well, what you see here, I'm going to do over there. All right, I'll give you a tour of what I've done here. You saw the front side. Here's what the back side looks like. Here's the lock tabs. I said I'm glad it fit behind this grease fitting. Here's our diff. Got to torque these 4 bolts. And then we're going to do the same thing over on this side here in a minute. But this axle is beautiful. Powder coating is fantastic and it's super thick. So that's why I took all those shims out from behind the backing plate. And yeah, I get this together and it'll come off this bench.